Hi guys, welcome to another SLTD Wrestling Roundtable podcast. We are here as always. This week it's a two-man show. We're missing Callum. Um, I don't actually know where he is, but he's off on assignment somewhere doing what he does. Disappears sometimes, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. More important than the pair of us two, I think. So it's just me and Adam today. We're gonna do a bit of everything, a bit of a mixed bag. Feel like we're going to be doing some draft stuff, some backlash stuff, some other bits and bobs. I'm sure that'll pop up when we're talking. It'll be a good time. Adam, you okay?
Yeah, mate. Like you say, we're just going to do a bit of everything really, because we were sort of at that point where Sidetable seems like it's an adequate time. There's a lot going on, draft wise, backlash wise, all that kind of stuff. And then when Callum's back and we're back at full strength, we're going to start looking into the big summer blowout.
Mm, interesting, interesting stuff. I will say if you listen to our draft predictions, I've got our predictions here so we can see if we were actually right. But we did all predict who would win the women's championship. Callum was the only one who was right.
He was, weren't he? The little swine.
Yeah. Although, did you see? I am not the biggest Nia Jax fan. I don't really get it, but I don't know if anyone's seen if they watched the Raw or they've seen a little clip online where when the ref held the title up, Nia Jax like stepped in the frame, like
Oh, really?
like it was it. Like, it was so funny. Like she did a little like this is mine. Like it was quite funny. Like made me laugh anyway. Uh, so yeah, the draft happened yesterday on SmackDown first round. We've still got the Raw one, which I'm assuming is going to be bigger. They do that because it's a longer show, don't they?
I'd hope so.
Yeah, and then so is it still? It's still that Raw get extra picks, isn't it?
Yeah, it was something. I think it was 24 to 16, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Up to now we haven't had any free agents, so Jimmy Uso isn't our free agent this time round.
No, close enough. I think he's. I don't know if he's included because he's injured.
Possibly not.
They started SmackDown with Paul Heyman saying that Roman Reigns has voluntarily withdrawn from the draft.
Well, what does that mean? Like he's just
It
out,
just and then Heyman said that Reigns won't be returning in the immediate future,
so he's just out because he's worked too hard.
out because he's done too much apparently, and he's off filming things and sitting in a throne with his top off.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. So you've got the actual.
I've got the list of the ones that the sort of picks that were made last night.
Yeah,
I just need to get my head around the way that they do this. In that whenever it comes up to a draft, and I sort of tease the idea of, oh, let's do predictions for it.
yeah.
My head still goes back to the days where it was, here's a draft. We're just going to pick people, and it's that person goes from that show to this show. Whereas this seems to be more of a sort of, we're going to pick anybody, and it might be that they're already on our show.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah.
I always see it as if there's a draft, one person has to go from there to there, from Raw to SmackDown or whatever way, and then the other show then gets their turn, and then they pick somebody else. And it's not a case of, like, for instance, the first pick of the draft was Bianca Belair staying on SmackDown. Like, to me, I felt like you don't have to pick her because she's already on your show. You've got to pick
See,
people from Raw, you
this is
know?
interesting, right? Because you look at it a different way. You look at it like mid ruthless aggression, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't. I was one there, like I was like, yeah, I get what you're saying, and then I was like, actually, no, I'm like 2002, where it's like, oh, everyone's up for grabs, so
Yeah.
so everyone's a free agent, and then you're like, oh well, I'm picking Bianca because she's on SmackDown and I wanted to stay on SmackDown.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me.
I don't. It's weird because like my head goes to the 2004 one where
Yeah,
Bischoff and Heyman were stood on the stage and they had the little tombolas,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was let's pull a hat. And then the year after was very interesting because they did it over a month, and there was no one picking specific people. It was just that, like, Cena came out on Raw, and it was like Cena must be the first draft pick, and
Yeah.
then Orton came out on SmackDown, and it's like, all right, Orton must be that one then, and they were bigger names then. But then you go to like 2010, 2011 time, where it was whichever person won a match, the brand got that draft pick, and
Yeah,
then
that
you'd have that graphic where it was like, and then it'd be like Michael Cole's gone to Raw, you know. It's like that's the kind of thing where I hear draft and I think that's what's happening. Whereas
like
this is this very NFL? Is this very sort of
feels it more so.
that way of doing it? Yeah.
I'm kind of I'm more of the now that they've got. I've said this a few times, but now that they've got actual Raw and SmackDown general managers, it should be that like for the next month, everyone's a free agent, and Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce pop up with contracts and be like these
Yeah.
big money contracts, and then people can swap and change, and people can be like, you can have like, I don't know, someone who, like, say, Damian Priest, he
Mm,
can pop up on both shows for 3 weeks,
yeah.
have Adam Pearson and Nick Aldis like in his face being like, say, so you need to sign a contract. Like, just doing what he wants to do because he's
Yeah.
like, I'm just surveying the area. And then it's like, this date is a lock. So whatever show, if you're not signed to a show on this date, you're not signed to a show.
Yeah.
Like, you need to figure that out because you haven't been picked. Um, I like the idea of that, but I think I liked it more when it was Bischoff and Steph because they did that with certain people, didn't they? They had like, remember they had a whole segment with Triple H in the ring at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they were trying to get Lesnar, weren't they? And
Lesnar,
Steph
yeah,
had him as
yeah,
an exclusive one, and
yeah, see stuff like that, yeah, where it
yeah,
was like Lesnar became exclusive, so then they had to make the world title, and did Steiner when he debuted,
yeah,
he did the
fought in
thing,
between the two, and yeah,
yeah, like that is like super clever to me,
yeah,
like that's more fun to be like, well, where are they gonna land rather than, but then
yeah.
this is
Ultimately,
more,
they're the one that makes the decision.
yeah.
Yeah,
With big people, it is. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like main
yeah,
defenses, but then you get like people who are like, I've signed with SmackDown because I want to stay there, or I want to sign with Raw because I can't be asked with this guy anymore. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm done with this feud. I need to move away, so I'm getting a new start on Raw, and then that kind of idea leads more into like you get more storyline out of it. But this is more like sports based.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
So,
Yeah.
but
Um, yeah, so there were a number of different picks that happened on both nights. So round one, so the round one picks, the first pick for SmackDown was Bianca Belair, like I mentioned. The second pick for Raw was Jey Uso, which makes sense. Number one contender for the world title. Because the one thing that we've not mentioned as well is that all the champions have been protected. None of them are moving. So Priest, Awesome Truth, Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn, they're all staying on Raw. Cody Rhodes, A-Town Down Under, um, who's US champion? Forgot already. Logan Paul. Yeah, he's staying on SmackDown. Bailey staying on SmackDown. The only ones that are allowed to move are the women's champs because apparently they can move across brands anyway, which is a bit of a strange one. Um, so then the second pick for SmackDown was Carmelo Hayes, which
that's a
big one,
big one, that. That's a
big one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a big
Thinking
thing.
back to like Finn being one of the early picks in that draft a couple of
Yeah.
years ago, Um, he apparently had a very, very good match against Cody Rhodes on SmackDown, but I've not watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I haven't watched
And
that.
they were saying it was a very, very good first night for Carmelo on SmackDown. And then Seth Rollins was the fourth pick for Raw, which I'm surprised they included Seth.
I know, but I think it makes sense that, you know, to have him there and to be like mentioned because they don't
Yeah,
know how long he's gonna be out for, that's the thing.
because they've not mentioned that he's injured. That's the strange one.
Have they not?
I don't think so.
I've heard that it's between 2 and 8 months. Like, how's that a thing? Makes
Mental,
no sense.
mental. So then going into round two, SmackDown picked Randy Orton, so Randy's staying put. Raw then picked Braun Breaker, So that was really, I mean, other than like Carmel coming up from NXT, the first big sort of SmackDown to Raw shift was Braun Breaker.
Oh, that's the first one we've got wrong.
I know, I thought he'd stay on SmackDown.
See?
Um, but then to sort of respond to that, Nick Aldis then said, right, well, I'll take Nia Jax from Raw. So Nia Jax is now on SmackDown.
Oh,
So there's another shift. And then Raw's final pick for round two was Liv Morgan. So Liv's staying on Raw.
that makes sense as well.
Yeah. Round three, again, no one necessarily moved here. SmackDown picked LA Knight, Raw picked Ricochet, SmackDown picked the Bloodline, so Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Paul Heyman are apparently who we class now as the Bloodline.
There,
And then say again,
so Jimmy's not,
Jimmy wasn't included in that.
and obviously with Reigns not being in it,
Yeah. And then the final one for Raw was Sheamus.
so Sheamus is staying on.
Yeah, so Sheamus is staying on Raw. And then the final round, quite interesting the way that they've done this, because you think that like Raw's first pick was Jey Uso.
Hmm.
It takes you have to get to round four for the current number one contender for the WWE title, AJ Styles, to be picked by SmackDown to stay on SmackDown.
That's weird.
Yeah. So SmackDown picked AJ, Raw picked Alpha Academy. Now this is Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, and Maxine Dupree. So they're still including Chad in that stable.
So they're still a stable.
Apparently so, because we said last week, didn't we, that like I had Otis and Akira Tozawa going to NXT.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think you mentioned maybe Chad going to SmackDown.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're all still on Raw together.
Hmm.
One pick going from Raw to SmackDown. Andrade is going to SmackDown. So that was SmackDown's next pick. We said that.
Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, yeah, we did say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah,
And then the last one, call up from NXT, which I think not necessarily surprised a lot of people, but it's a lot on social media this morning where they're saying that she really deserves it. Kiana James was
yeah.
picked from
Seen it. I
NXT.
don't really know her. Is she good? Like,
Yeah, she's good. I think it was one of those things where similar to again going back to Finn a couple of years ago, where you sort of they ended up just going quiet on feuds and things like that, and you almost in your head go
yeah,
feel like they're doing something. You know, they're gonna move soon because they're not wanting to put them in too big of a program right now on
yeah.
NXT. And then the ones that carried on and got announced on social media. So SmackDown got Baron Corbin from NXT.
Hey.
Uh, so I mean, I was in the hope that we were keeping War Dogs together.
Well, I said this because I thought even if you don't keep them together, put
Mm.
them on the same brand. So then
Yeah,
it comes down to it where I don't know, there's a storyline where one of them's feuding with somebody who's got a partner. Like,
still got an ally.
yeah, they've got someone to be like, oh, okay, well, who's going to be your partner? Like that, and then you get that little War Dogs pop. Know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know why you would,
Why would you not do that?
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Going over to Raw, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn is a tag team. Staying on SmackDown, the OC, so Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Michin. Now, I'm a bit like, so is AJ now not with them? Is this now not a thing?
Apparently, when he came back, he bailed them. Yeah, he was like,
Right, but they're
no,
still the OC, just not with AJ.
yeah, not with the
Yeah.
captain.
Okay.
I don't really. Surely they should just be the Good Brothers
Yeah.
and Meech.
And Michin.
But I don't know why. But I don't know. Like even they don't do anything. They're not in a feud. They're not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like
No.
it's such a
Yeah, it's bizarre.
yeah.
Um, Going over to actually staying on Raw is Ivar. And then um, is it going to SmackDown? I don't really know where they landed previously. Cedric Alexander and Ashanti the Adonis. Now I'd moved these to NXT in the predictions.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah,
Yeah, but they're staying as a group, but they're on SmackDown. So hopefully that means that they're probably going to get some main roster time as a tag team,
you would hope so.
you know, with them being moved. And then weirdly, two separate picks, but essentially a tag team pick. Raw are keeping Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark.
So not together, but together.
Yeah, they counted as two separate picks.
Okay.
Yeah. So That's it. Pretty underwhelming, if I'm honest.
Yeah, what's that like? Two.
Because if you look at it as a sort of grand scale, right, you got Carmelo up from NXT, but he'd already debuted on SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know, Braun from SmackDown to Raw, Nia from Raw to SmackDown, Andrade to SmackDown, and then Kiana James up from NXT, Baron Corbin up from NXT, Alba Fire and Isla moving to Raw. Yeah,
So there's no like mega picks.
there's nothing huge that's happened, is there?
Maybe they're just waiting for Raw.
You think it's going to be Raw? Because I'm assuming then at that point everyone else is eligible on Raw.
Yeah.
Um,
Surely
so
you'd have this. You'd have SmackDown as the second day of it, not the first day.
well, I thought that.
Like SmackDown, I understand is like, oh, it's on Fox, whoa, but Raw's the show, innit?
Yeah,
Like if that was the second day of picks, that wouldn't be too bad. But
it
when
wouldn't
that's
be.
like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For
So
one pick.
who's eligible on right? So eligible on Monday. Apollo Crews, Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, Carlito. See, now I'm wondering if Carlito's going to shift because they did the angle on Raw last night where it was revealed as him attacking
Yeah,
Dragon Lee.
SmackDown. It was.
Yeah. Um, Damage control. So they count damage control as Dakota, Io, Asuka, and Kyrie. So they're all going to go together.
Right, okay.
So that's SmackDown. Um, Diamond Mine, Brutus, Julius, and Ivy Nile. So still referring to them as Diamond Mine
Change.
as one pick. DIY count as one pick. Drew McIntyre, all of the Final Testament count as one pick. And then I did want to talk about this. Giovanni Vinci is one pick on his own. Imperium, Gunther, and Ludwig Kaiser is one pick on his own. Now, it
Oh,
doesn't make sense to me that they've excommunicated him from Imperium
no.
in that Kaiser and Giovanni at some point should have had a run as tag champs.
100%.
And them together work as a team,
Yeah.
them apart, I am concerned about. And I'm more concerned that have they done it just so that they can get Dragunov on the roster?
So Dragunov
You-
would be with them.
Well, no, I'm thinking Giovanni wants to stand up to Gunther and Ludwig. And that sort of typical, well, there's only one of you and there's two of us. And then
Oh,
Giovanni's like, well, I made the call. Is
it
it,
would have been more interesting to have Imperium and Gunther as a separate pick, and
yeah,
then do it where it's like Gunther gets picked to go, say he does go to SmackDown or whatever. Um, so that happens, and then like throughout the show, you've got like he like says his goodbyes if you like, and he's like, "You do your thing," and then he ends up going with them anyway,
yeah.
and it's like, sweet, okay,
But then I feel like they must have some idea for Ludwig as a sort of singles guy,
yeah,
you know, unless this is all story and there's something else going on. Jade Cargill, separate pick. The Judgment Day, all as one pick, but obviously not including Rhea, not
yeah.
including Priest. So this is Balor, Dominic, and JD.
So then
Now,
they could go to SmackDown.
them three could go to SmackDown.
That's
Hmm.
backwards.
Um, Dom's injured,
Yeah,
but he tweeted that he doesn't need surgery.
yeah.
So he said that he's not going anywhere. So I'm assuming he's still going to be on TV. You know,
Just to
can't
like,
not have Dirty Dom on TV, can you?
no, I said to I sent the group that now when they were talking, I was like, I've got no reason to watch Raw if he's not there.
Yeah.
And Mike wasn't happy. Mike was angry. Ugh, why would you even do that?
Um, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance as one pick.
Mm,
Kevin Owens. One pick, Legado del Fantasma, so Santos, Angel,
Angel.
Berto, and Electro Lopez.
They're all
All
one. That's
they're
that.
all one.
Yeah.
All one as well. Latino World Order. So Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Whacking Wild, Cruz del Toro, Ansley and the Vega. All one pick.
Right. Okay. They
Natalia's a pick. Say again.
they need separating.
Yeah, yeah. We said Legado to Raw, didn't
Yeah.
we? And
Not separating
Santos,
as teams. I mean, like,
no, but like
yeah,
the feud can't carry on, you know.
no,
Natalia's a pick, Naomi's a pick, New Cat Republic together as a pick, New Day. Now this only includes Kofi and Woods as a pick.
yeah.
Yeah. Odyssey Jones is still there in the pool. Osmosis Jones, where's he gonna go?
It's Moses Jones. Why is
Um,
he is friggin' Gable Stevenson still on there?
no,
Jesus, like who are these people? Why are they in the pick?
I don't even know.
Freaking
Pretty
hell.
Deadly is one pick. The Pride is one pick. So Lashley, Dawkins, Ford, and BFAB.
Right.
Um, Nakamura is one pick. Tegan Knox is one pick, and Tiffany Stratton is one pick as well. And then this says wrestlers not included. So Alexa Bliss, obviously not
Mhm.
included. Big E, Brock Lesnar, Carmella, Charlotte Flair, Dexter Loomis, unknown. Eric, Jimmy Uso, Nikki Cross, Omos, and MVP. That comes down as unknown apparently. They're still a free agent from last time. um, Rochelle Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, Shotzi, Sonya Deville, Tamina, Trish Stratus has been included in this list. Um, Uncle Howdy and Valhalla are the ones that are saying are not
Well,
included.
Valhalla's pregnant. So
Valhalla's pregnant, and nobody appreciated my comment in the chat about Eric had to do something while he was pregnant, while he was injured. Even
get on to that.
he got his wife pregnant, is what he did.
Yeah, I'll have to do something.
No, I'm fairly certain he had neck surgery as well.
We'll
You
go
do
on there.
you do you love.
You do you. Yeah. I'm just gonna lie here. I can't move my head. So yeah, she's pregnant. But if Alexa Bliss could be, or essentially should be, whichever way you look at it, should be coming back soon.
I
Should be.
think so. I think she said it.
I'm same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought she was on AEW for a minute the other day. It wasn't. It was Mercedes Moné.
Oh
So I was
dear.
like, seen this somewhere. It wasn't. Just do the same gimmick. Um. So yeah, and then Brock obviously doesn't have a place, does he? He just pops up where he wants. If
Ooh.
pop up where he wants. Um. Who else? Jimmy's injured.
Jimmy's
Drew's
injured.
obviously injured. Isn't
There's just a lot.
anybody?
Yeah. There's nobody that's been purposely left out because
Yeah, that's what
they
I was
want to
thinking.
create some like Reigns, I would say, is possibly the only one. But if
Yeah.
by their own admission he's going, I'm not gonna be around,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, we don't care then, you know.
Yeah, then that's it. So it'd
Yeah.
be interesting, like, because in my head, even though, like, if they're gonna have Seth as a pick, are they gonna have Punk as a pick?
Yeah, Punk was on that first list.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So Punk's eligible on Monday.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think Punk's staying on Raw, isn't
I
he?
would imagine he's staying on Raw.
I think the first picks on Raw should potentially be possibly Punk for Raw and then Orton for SmackDown.
Okay.
You would assume.
Mm.
But I don't know why they do it SmackDown to Raw. I don't know why they do that. It's a bit of a fucking
It's weird that we've now started on that sort of because if you think about Mania,
Mm.
now that weekend happens because obviously it's on a Friday.
Yeah,
It's like it used to be for a while that that Friday SmackDown would be taped on a Tuesday
yeah.
and would just be filler to
Hmm.
get us to the weekend, and
Right.
then they'd try and do that thing like Jack Swagger cashing in his Money in the Bank on the SmackDown after
Yeah,
Mania. Whereas now it's like the one before Mania counts in that sort of festivity,
yeah, yeah.
you know? And
Be
it's like with all
interesting.
these PLEs and like one happening in Glasgow before Clash.
Yeah. SmackDown's like the leading rather than the fallout.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the fallout, but the yeah, the filler,
I
if you
suppose
like.
it is the Fallout, yeah.
Um, it'll
But
be
it's weird that we
interesting.
have to look at the week that way.
Well, that's what I was going to say
Yeah.
because the way so next year, I wonder if they'll stick to the same days when they're on Netflix because
Is it just Raw that's moving to Netflix?
Everything's moving to Netflix.
Because I think it was a Cultaholic video. They were saying that Raw moves to Netflix, but SmackDown moves to the CW.
Yeah, that's in America.
Oh, right, okay. But for us, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. So in America, it's moving. No, NXT's moving to the CW. Oh no, maybe SmackDown is as well. I don't know. I don't know. But that's in America. But in the US, in the UK, everything's moving to SmackDown. So essentially, if SmackDown, oh yeah, then maybe SmackDown will change days, but no. Because I was gonna say you could put the shows on. If you're doing it, if it say it was all over the world and it was a full deal with Netflix, you could do it like Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, Wednesday NXT, and then house shows Thursday, Friday, and then give everybody Saturday, Sunday off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you don't need to do house shows all the time
yeah.
unless
Until you get to a PLE week, and then you
yeah,
work that one extra day, and
well,
then
yeah, that's it, yeah.
yeah,
And you do it where it's all the kind of there, but it'll be interesting. Like one, what days they put them out, and two, what time they put them out.
mm,
Because with it being a UK thing, it'd be interesting if they were like, well, we're going to drop it at 7 o'clock at night. So in the UK, you can watch SmackDown at a normal time rather than having to
yeah,
stay up in the middle of the night. But as I say, if it's on the CW, then it'll still be the middle of the night. But essentially, Raw could drop.
yeah. I'd imagine it'll be a sort of you can still watch it live, but realistically, most people are going to watch it
Yeah,
in the morning. You know.
yeah, yeah. But I am looking forward to it being on. I'm really looking forward to it being on SmackDown. Them all being on Netflix. But I can't get past the fact that we're not gonna have the network. I just can't get over it. I can't get past it. Like it makes me super sad. Like, but it will be interesting going forward, like stuff like this, where it's like the draft and stuff like that, where if they change the day of like when Raw and SmackDown is happening.
Mm.
So I think Raw would essentially stay on Monday because it's kind of
Monday
like
Night Raw.
yeah, it's kind of a stable, isn't
Yeah,
it?
because I know there was loads of talk, weren't there, about like them being open to moving the day.
Yeah,
But surely, if you go into something like a Netflix, which doesn't have a linear programming schedule, like you can just stick it on a Monday. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
keep it on a Monday, you
yeah.
know.
Because that's the thing, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if it's going to be live every week.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because,
But the worry then is spoilers, isn't it?
yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's a weird thing, isn't it? I don't
Potentially an earlier start time though.
possibly.
So maybe not doing a sort of if it's a 3 hour Raw, you don't have to do an 8 till 11 US time. You could
Yeah.
do 7 till 10. You know, you can make it a bit more palatable for an
Yeah.
audience.
But then are you still going to keep it 3 hours?
No.
Because are you going to have adverts? Because
Hmm.
essentially, Raw is 2 hours and 15 minutes, 10 minutes, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's 2 hours of content, 2 hours, or just over 2 hours of content with the advert, without the adverts. If you look at it
That's
that way,
interesting.
because if you get raw from ill-gotten gains for any reason, I'm not judging. Neither do I do it. But if you stream raw from somewhere, usually the adverts cut out. Unless
Yeah.
you're watching it live, obviously, because then you can't cut them out. But if you're watching like a replay, which I know some people have done. I don't do that, but I know some people do. The file is usually just over 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So are you, if you're moving to Netflix and Netflix like, well, we want 3 hours. Do you know what I mean?
There's so much more space then to get other people on
That's what I mean.
the
But
show.
a 3 hour show is a long,
That's heavy. Yeah, yeah.
like
So is it
every,
that you end up doing them both as two? At which point you're still managing to get more people on both shows.
yeah, without a doubt, yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's the thing. if you look at it, like SmackDown's probably like an hour and 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
Really, like an
yeah,
hour and
yeah,
25
yeah.
minutes. So if you're looking at it like we're moving here and we've got to produce a 3 hour show and a 2 hour show, you're pretty much adding
But then the
over an
awkward one is if SmackDown is moving to the CW because
yeah.
they're still gonna have to put adverts in it, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just
I
having.
think if
I'm
this
gonna
is
try
what
and find out.
I think this is what if this is what Netflix are doing now, I think they have a lower package that includes adverts,
Yeah,
and that's how they'll include adverts because that's what Prime do now, don't they?
yeah. Oh no, this says so. In September 2023, it was announced that SmackDown would return to the USA Network in October 2024. So it's going to USA.
Okay,
Mm,
so it's still on a channel, but we're getting it on Netflix.
I think so.
So yeah, SmackDown and Raw will be super different then because Raw's going to be like Netflix produced, if you like,
Yeah.
because it's going to be on Netflix everywhere.
Um, I want to see. Yeah. So Netflix. This is from the 6th of January for Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What day is the 6th? Hang on.
I'd assume a Monday. I hope a Monday.
Well, I'll check. Yeah, a Monday.
Yeah.
It's the first Monday. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're going to look very different in the sense that I don't know if you'd need adverts on Raw, but you're going to need some sort of breakup, or SmackDown's only going to be an hour and 20 minutes long,
Yeah.
which is weird.
They cut it out for,
Yeah.
but then airing it live, they're gonna have they'll have to do that thing that they do now with like PLEs, where
Right.
it's like if you're watching on Netflix, here's the background to this thing
Yeah.
while everybody else has an advert.
Yeah. So it'll be like in the middle of a match, and then you'll get like a Sheamus promo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like just booting people in the face for 30 seconds, and then that's that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna
Yeah,
work.
because I found the press release again. So the press release says beginning in January 2025, Netflix will be the exclusive new home of Raw in the US, Canada, UK, and Latin America, amongst other territories, with additional countries and regions to be added over time. Likewise, as part of the agreement, Netflix will become the home for all WWE shows and specials outside of the US, inclusive of Raw and WWE's other weekly shows, so SmackDown, NXT, and the company's PLE live events. Award-winning documentaries, original series, and forthcoming projects will be on Netflix internationally from 2025. So hopefully then, stuff like the Cody thing and the Angle thing and the Bray thing, like we're gonna get them
You would hope
when they
so,
happen. Yeah.
but I don't think you get them ones. I think you get new
New
ones
ones.
because they're Peacock originals. They're not made by the network. They're made by Peacock. But then it's the same thing, so I don't know because they don't add
Like
new stuff to
tag
the
team title lineage.
yeah, but they don't add new stuff. They don't do really like shows to the network anymore, do they? Because it's all
No.
Peacock. So I don't know. So
We've moved away from the sort of drive alongs, camp WWEs.
yeah,
Yeah,
table of three.
that was a time. That was a time.
Table of three, man. Jesus.
I tell you what, I watched this morning. I was watching a little bit of TNA Turning Point from 2004 because it was the first one that recorded on that iOS at
Oh
TV.
yeah, yeah.
That's the one that ends with AMW versus Triple X in the Six Sides of Steel.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow. I've
yeah.
got 2 episodes of it on the box. I don't know what was on last night.
The greatest matches seems to be doing more like 2010-ish time.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the two that I recorded from previously were the Turning Point, and then the one this week was Hard Justice 2005, which was where Tito Ortiz was a referee for the Jeff Jarrett main
Oh,
event.
oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
That's good going, that.
And the first match was Petey Williams and Eric Young against Sonny Siaki and Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time TNA
All
was.
the time. Amy came in. I was watching. I put it on like as we were getting started for bed and stuff, and she came in and she went, "Why are you watching like really old TNA?" And I was like, "Because this was the time. This was the time.
This was peak. This is
This was
peak.
it.
No,
You
this
don't know, man."
AW shiz. This is
Yeah.
peak. Peak.
Like,
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to ask you about as well. Oh, what do you think about Nick Khan selling
is
all
he
his
done
shit?
so? Is he on the way out?
Mm, I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
Mm, mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
strange, strange. I don't. Yeah,
I don't think it'll change too much in the sort of the way of things. I think he's done a lot to try and I don't know. Maybe the international stuff is all him, you know.
mm,
Because to move on to another Khan, our mayor of London, Sadiq Khan,
yeah,
has said that if he gets re-elected, he's gonna pitch for Mania to go to London.
mhm,
Um, which will be good if it happens.
yeah. He's just got
It's still that thing where
80,000
I'm kind of
votes
like,
there, hasn't he?
like,
Everyone
go
who's
on,
just gone to AEW has gone.
picked a niche audience to be like, oh, you want to vote for me? I'll
Yeah,
bring you WrestleMania.
yeah.
Um, yeah, like I believe it when it happens. Like I still can't believe that we don't know where next year's is.
No,
Um, but well,
this
apart
is
from
a front
Taker
runner,
slipping up and saying that it's probably Vegas.
yeah, it's a front runner, like, but I've heard in the past that places are front runners and they don't end up with it, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So unless there's a very quick turnaround and it ends up being London.
If,
Um,
yeah, I don't know, but there you go.
you know,
Backlash predictions.
Backlash. So far there are 5 matches announced for Backlash. So we've got Cody versus AJ for the undisputed WWE Championship. I'm assuming that's Cody. You
Yeah,
know, I
is it
can't
hasn't
imagine.
the title changed its name? Is it not Universal?
This says undisputed WWE Championship, so there's no Universal in it anymore. But they're
Right.
still saying undisputed. Because I would imagine at some point they're just going to drop undisputed and it'll just be the
Why would
WWE
you know?
Championship.
Why would it be? I don't understand undisputed when you've got two belts.
Yeah, so
Like you've got two
it's
titles, not it's not
yeah.
undisputed. Anyway,
Um, Damian Priest versus Jey Uso, singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, Someone said I can imagine Jey winning this just to drop it to Drew at Clash, and I don't think it needs to be face versus heel Drew going into Clash because Drew's going to get cheered at Clash regardless.
yeah.
So he could just beat Priest,
Yeah.
you know, if that's the way that it seems to go, and I'm assuming it is.
I wouldn't want Priest to lose on his first defense.
I wouldn't want Priest to lose on his first one. It wouldn't surprise me if you even ended up ending this one through nefarious means and
Mm.
then getting Priest to Drew Jay at Clash.
Mm.
You
Do you
know,
know what though? Right, with this match and with the way Jay is at the minute and all that stuff, I think he could deal quite well with a clean loss. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
he's doing too much. I think
yeah.
he could happily lose and then be like, Shh, you know what I mean? Like, you were the
We
better
go
man.
again.
Yeah, especially like the promo they had on Raw. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but like they were saying Priest was kind of like there was a show that we did way back when, and you absolutely battered me. Like you
Mm,
kicked me ass. Like, and I give you me respect. And I remember you saying like it's gonna be. We went out that night, and it's like we're next kind of thing. It's like it's our time next.
yeah.
It was like it's my time. It's not our time, kind of thing. Um, I don't think it'd be. Yeah, I don't think it'd be too bad for him to lose and at least to have a clean win. Um,
But we mentioned again last week about Money in the Bank looking solid this year.
yeah,
Jay,
yeah, yeah.
like again, there's so many that are so like, and it's credits to sort of what Paul Heyman said in his Hall of Fame speech about Triple H. There are so many people now on that periphery of the main event, in that like we could have a Sammy, Gunther, Owens, you know, Jay. Like I'd go as far as saying like a Gable,
Yeah.
a Santos, like
It
all these
feels,
people.
yeah, it feels very like attitude era.
Yeah.
Like not in the sense of like it's the same. I wouldn't say it's the same caliber of superstar because they're all legends now, but in the attitude there, you had that idea of there was like 6, 8, 10 people
Hmm.
dip in and out of being in a world title.
Yeah.
And if any one of them won the world title or fought for the world title, you wouldn't be like, this is out of place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Like,
was believable.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of people who are like on that. Like 2 years ago, someone said, well, not so much 2 years ago, but um, a few years ago, if someone said, um, like Jey Uso's going to fight for the world title, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
But now it's totally believable that he could face a world, like he could face, even when Seth was the champ, it's totally believable that he could be in a world title picture. Do you know what I mean? So that's a credit to what they've been doing and having like the long term plan of what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I think it's too soon for Priest to lose.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think you should drop it now.
yeah, it can't be that.
Yeah.
Like the first one. You know what I mean?
Um, Triple threat for the women's championship. So Bailey, Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton.
At least keep an energy.
I'm assuming Bailey, yeah. I was very interested when I saw that this got announced this morning because I didn't see it going that way.
Well, on last week's SmackDown, Tiffany interrupted the title match, didn't she?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of them because that didn't get to finish. I don't think it got to finish. I think she interrupted it and it got throughout.
Ah, right, okay.
I think. Yeah, it did. Yeah, because she did the best moonsault ever on the pair of them.
Right.
So yeah,
Um, Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade for the tag team titles.
they're taking the title, aren't they?
They're taking their titles.
I I hope they take the titles and then they redesign the titles. Jesus Christ.
To women power trip.
Yeah,
And then another tag team title, not a tag team title match, another tag team match. So Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, so we're keeping RKO together.
yeah.
Versus the Bloodline versus Solo Sikoa and Tamatanga.
Weird.
Is this where you get Jacob though?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Jacob Fatu. I swear to God, like I've been saying it on X all week. Every time it's popped up and anyone's mentioned it, I've always gone to be like, Jacob Fatu is the reason I stuck with MLW for so long because he's
Mm.
just absolute phenomenon. He's so good. Like, yeah, he even does a whisper in the wind. There's a whisper in the wind. That big ass dude, no shoes, to go whispering in the wind, like mad. Um, I would have preferred Kevin Owens versus Tonga.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I think that would have been a better match. But you know, who am I to say that Randy Orton shouldn't get a payday? You know what I mean?
Well.
That's it.
Um, I don't know who else is going to get announced for anything. Maybe a sort of grudge match between Zayn and Gable.
Um, Possibly, yeah. Yeah. I think that'll be just their IC match, their IC
Yeah.
title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Probably a step.
you would hope so. It would be
Yeah,
something.
like a street fight or something.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else that would really maybe Ludwig and Vinci
That'd be a good one.
if they keep it going on
Give
Raw.
them a spot. It's
Yeah.
very SmackDown heavy at the minute because like 4 out of the 5 are SmackDown matches.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we're going to get some more on Raw.
Yeah. You would assume Sami Zayn and Gable is going to be something,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be. It could be that that's where we possibly get Creed brothers with Gable.
possibly. Yeah, yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Because I mean, it is next week, so they're gonna. They've only got Raw to announce some more.
Yeah,
So
that's it. They don't usually announce a load of matches though. That's the thing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
couple more.
Obviously AJ is not winning. We didn't know.
AJ's not winning.
That's going to be a banger of a match. That though.
It'll be really good,
Oh
but
my
AJ's
god.
not winning.
Yeah. And then I don't know. Well, like there's nobody that's really like screaming out that they're like doing all kinds of stuff. Maybe a DIY Awesome Truth.
Because DIY won the contender thing, didn't they? But they had the match this week and lost.
Yeah, they had the match, yeah. And then Champa wouldn't shake their hand.
Yeah.
Champa walked out. Apparently there was like a
There was
digital
an exclusivity thing, weren't there?
where he was like, so he was fuming about it. But I don't know. It's one of them where it's like, are you turning them heel or are you bailing DIY again? They need a good run as
I could
DIY.
see them going to SmackDown and just beating A-Town down under, like
Yeah,
keep them faces.
yeah. It's weird. It's a weird one that it's like, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. Why can't they just be like, we're doing our thing?
Yeah.
But it's always, it seems to be every time you do anything with DIY, you're always teasing that Ciampa is going to turn heel.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this? Like,
No.
it's bizarre to me. I don't understand it. It's just like, why? So yeah, yeah. Again, what do I know? It just seems a little bit like, stop doing that. But
Because there's no one there on the SmackDown side where I feel like we're all of a sudden going to get a tag match for those titles. Because I would have said New Catch Republic, but
yeah.
they got attacked by Final Testament on SmackDown.
Well, aren't eight times? Did you say eight times aren't under and not wrestling?
I don't think so.
Didn't Profits win a match to get number one
Oh,
contenders?
yeah. So unless that's happening on the SmackDown,
I'm sure. Yeah.
because
Oh,
that
right.
still
I see. Yeah.
matters. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because that's five out of six matches from SmackDown.
Yeah. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, and then if you add the tag match,
Yeah.
wow, that's the SmackDown show. So what
It
we're
is,
doing
isn't
now,
it?
just swapping. Oh yeah,
SmackDown Backlash.
no, he's done that before, haven't he? Done Backlash was like SmackDown exclusive. Remember that shit?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
terrible stuff. That.
But
Um,
again, like that's me. That was like 2003 Ruthless
yeah,
Aggression, where it's
oh,
like is Raw brand only, like bad blood.
yeah.
It's like the
SmackDown Bash at the Beach. No,
oh, Great
SmackDown
American Bash.
Great American Bash, the worst pay-per-view I've ever watched in my
So
life.
some of the
Ever.
matches that they put on those shows, and you're just like, why am I watching Hardcore Holly versus Mordecai? Like, what? Why am I watching Scott Steiner versus Test? Like, what was that? It was like when I was watching one of them TNA ones. They had this whole thing where Turning Point 2004. The main event of it is a 6-man tag, and
Yeah,
it's Nash, Hall, and Jarrett versus Randy Savage, AJ Styles, and Jeff Hardy, right? So fine, right?
yeah,
Star powerish. But then they've got Shane Douglas in the back going, we've got a huge 6-man tag coming up, and this is how we got to the dance. They're not even talking about that 6-man tag. They're talking about Frankie Kazarian, Michael Shane, and Kid Cash versus Sonjay Dutt, Sonny Siaki, and somebody whose name I've already forgotten. Like, and it's like, why is this your second match on pay-per-view? What's happening? But then in the thing before it, Buddy Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka were involved somehow. And I'm like, when did
Jesus.
that happen?
Yeah. Everybody went there, didn't he?
Oh,
That's like,
everyone did
this is
it.
why I keep saying
Like what?
AEW is like,
That
uh,
wasn't too far after Roddy Piper and Snooker had done the whole coconut thing the year before with Rikishi and Sean O'Hare and like Backlash and shit. Like,
remember that? Bloody hell. With the
oh,
coconut and then
because that genuinely at the time that was like my first sort of knowing Roddy Piper and knowing Jimmy Snooker. And
yeah,
it was like, you bashed me in the head with a coconut back in whatever time, and I'm gonna get my revenge. And then they've
yeah,
put
yeah.
these things up, and it's like, oh, he's got a coconut, he's gonna do it, and then Snooker does it, but then Rikishi loses the match. So
Jesus. That's yeah, that's not what you want to be introduced to. I mean, it worked, obviously. There you go.
well,
Know what I mean? But Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, that's nuts. Like, absolutely nuts. But there you go. Why did we get onto? Oh yeah, right.
the
SmackDown Backlash.
matches,
Yeah, back down. I was
filler
like, why did
matches,
we end up talking about that? SmackDown Backlash. Yeah, man.
that Backlash.
SmackDown Backlash. As long as it's not WrestleMania Backlash. That
Yeah,
that was awful. Having the WrestleMania name in it. I was ugh,
2 years on the run, they did that.
horrible. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I don't know what really like. It's got to be Raw matches that are being announced.
Yeah, there's got to be a couple more at least.
Yeah, unless is could you do Becky and Liv?
That's
But
too soon.
I feel like Liv's just on a losing streak. Like she's forever the runner up, isn't she?
Revenge tour.
Yeah, she's
You
like
keep plugging away, kid.
yeah. She needs they need her to be like doing something that isn't the title to
Yeah.
kind of like get a going. Know what I mean? Like they need to make card title. Telling you,
Mm.
that's what they need.
They will. They'll have a IC title soon.
They need a mid card. Yeah, the
Yeah.
women's intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think they're testing the water with this thingy one.
100%.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, man. Interesting. Interesting bits and bobs there.
A lot of stuff going. A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah, I love a good side table.
Backlash next week.
Yeah.
Decent time as well.
Yeah, what time is it over here? Is it
I
like
think it's 8
7 o'clock?
it
Oh, it's
starts.
8.
Mm.
Is France hasn't got a time difference, has it?
It's an hour ahead.
Is it? What is
Yeah.
that about?
Yeah. Sure is.
Wait, it's not bad.
I mean, I'm out at Rod Gilbert, so I'm not watching it live anyway.
Well, we're having a birthday party for Thea,
Yeah.
so everyone's got to be home by 8 o'clock. So there you go. Everyone's out the house.
There's the curfew.
Yeah.
Ring the bell at like
Yeah.
7:30.
Do whatever you want.
Get
Be
out of my
whatever you want.
house. I've got to
Or
go get me beef or hoops and me Fanta Fruit Twist.
yeah, well, we only do that for WrestleMania. We don't do
Oh,
that.
sorry. Sorry.
No,
Don't
we
want
don't
to
even do that for WrestleMania Backlash.
don't
We
want
don't
to
do
cross the
that.
streams.
Yeah, we don't do that. That's just WrestleMania once a year. We do that. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention?
Not really. I'm just about to enter a very extremely busy period, as a May always is in teaching.
Yeah.
In that we're about 15 days away from the first film exam. I've had a lot of lovely comments about my revision video, that's gone up, and the kids are using it and all that kind of stuff. So it's all just moving forward. It's just got to get through May. Just got to get through May.
Just get through,
And
man.
actually, slight godsend in that like we're at Haven the last week of May, and it seems to be that we've naturally found that spot in the year to go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like actually that's quite a nice point to go because like I'll have been barreled over by the end of May.
It's nice to take a breath.
Yeah.
It's time to take a breath. Yeah. I haven't got anything going on. Just always this. It's always this. Um, adding more stuff to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, hit that button. That's
Do
what
that thing.
that's what the kids do these days. They said to say there's a YouTuber called Lexi Haler, and she does or used to do this thing where it's like so like my video if you want to, and subscribe to me if you want to, and if you don't want to, that's fine. That's all good. So yeah, if you would like to do that, that would be nice.
I had a student the other day say to me, "You got a YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Yeah." And like some of the kids go, "Yeah, how do you not know that?" I go, "What is it?" So it's found on film. So then she gets her phone out in front of me, right? She types phone on film in. It comes up. She goes, "Right, I'm going to subscribe to you." So she presses subscribe and she went, "And I'm going to press the notification bell."
Wow.
And I was like, "Whoa,
Notifications.
whoa, hang on
Wowza.
a minute."
That's a big one. And we never ask for notifications. If you want to get notifications, that's sad.
Don't really do anything, does it? Other
No.
than saying what this person's just added a video.
Yeah.
Like it don't mean anything to us if you hit that notification bell. But if
No.
you're really that keen on knowing when we're when we're
When we
talking
do,
shit
yeah, yeah,
again.
that's can't do that. Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. And if there's anything you want to see as well, or hear, or anything, let us know because we are open to ideas. Because we're run thin. Know what I mean?
Big summer blowout. I've got my whiteboard, and that's where the bracket's gonna go. There
Oh,
we go.
right. There you go. That's too many teasers. Um, Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Um, Stay safe, stay entertained, and watch the wrestling you want to watch. Unless you're stuck for stuff to watch, and then possibly watch the greatest TNA matches from 2005 because it's
on iOS TV.
on iOS TV because it's an absolute fever dream. I'll be
I
honest with
just wish it was in HD, but it's fine.
you. We'll
Something
catch,
weird about watching standard def on a 55 TV.
we'll catch you next time. Bye.